Hi, Dave.
Hey, well, Nathan, Sophie, thank you so much for agreeing to chat to us today. And I've got to say, congratulations on the film because I've had a chance to sit down and watch it, and it's absolutely amazing. So, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, that's a lovely
We're
review.
nervously waiting feedback, aren't we, from the Australian audiences?
Yeah. It's been good what we've from the festival response, but it'd be interesting to see how it goes just on a wider, Australia wide, multi cinema complex type, review.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question to ask. How nervous do you both get before you've got a film coming out like this? I know for you, Nathan, it's a bit of a new experience, but what is that like, waiting for the film to come out and getting that reception back from fans?
Who
I mean,
shall I
yeah,
first, or
yeah,
we have a habit of talking over each other?
You can go first. You go first, though.
Look, I think I can speak for myself and all the producers and creatives on the show is that when you're living with a project for so long, and particularly Nathan and I have been on this journey for about 15 years, you kind of feels like you're giving a baby out to the world. So it is nerve wracking to wait and hope that people see what we saw and get to see the sheer beauty of it and appreciate that it is an all Australian film that took a very small team, a small dedicated team, a long time to get to the screen. I think we're all hoping that it's like Melbourne weather and that it's going to rain so that audiences will have to take their kids to the cinema. And then, I think it is nerve-wracking waiting for the reviews, I have to say, isn't it, Nathan? I mean, we're sort of trawling them internationally.
Yeah. It's interesting because, for me, there's a little bit of obviously there's a family link to this film in the sense that, the main character is named after my daughter. So there's this sort of nervousness that I almost don't want to also disappoint the fact that my daughter, as a kind of almost like an avatar, appears in this film. So I want to make sure that, she's happy as well. But yeah, there is a sort of a nervousness, though over the years we have, we've launched various things together, haven't we, Sophie? Like, there's been, various games and books and toys and stuff that are all kind of independent and limited edition. But there's always the kind of the thing about releasing something into the world. You don't really know the response. You only know the effort that you've put in and the and kind of the work that you've put into it, and you just kind of, it's out there for good, for bad, for whatever. It's just something that you release. So yeah, it's exciting. It's actually, I think it's more exciting. I'm not really. For me, it's probably more exciting because I see it as just one small part of a much bigger ongoing project, and so once this is out, I'm already thinking about what the next thing is anyway.
I remember.
I'm in a state of she finished it.
I remember talking to the creative team behind Mortal Kombat a few years ago, and they said that video game fans seem to be the most savage towards movies online when a game is turned into a movie. How do you find the ScaryGirl community like at the moment online? Are they excited about the film coming out?
Yeah, it's what's interesting about it is because I initially started ScaryGirl as a sort of a toy kind of brand and a comic back about 21 years ago. So there's a fan group that understood ScaryGirl from just that aspect of the medium. They didn't actually go into the game world. And then, a number of years later, we started going to games, and then there's a totally different audience that was getting into the game. So each audience has its very hardcore fan base, and we did 2 games. And so some people are like absolutely diehard fans of, say, the online Flash game we did. But then when they play the other game, they're like, oh, this is not the same as the other game I played. Or then you have vice versa. Someone will be loving, what we did with the PlayStation game, but find the Flash game not exciting. So I feel like people who are into kind of collectability culture are super, super passionate, and that's what I love. I think that's what that's how I survive, is through the dedication and kind of the obsession of fans and collectors. So I actually I love it, but yes, ultra opinionated as well. And it's and I'm one of those people too. I'm a nerd, a gamer nerd who it's like, that Zelda game that came out 5 years ago, it wasn't quite as good as the one of blah 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 because of all these reasons, and here's my large essay of why it isn't as good. So I understand how rabid fans can be and how opinionated they can be, because I'm one of them.
Yeah. Sophie, tell us a little bit about this journey with the film. When did the idea first come about to turn ScaryGirl into a movie?
Pretty soon after I first met Nathan, and I don't want to say that we've been working on the movie for 20 years, but I did meet him 20 years ago, and on the back of the toys and an initial comic that had a circulation in Hong Kong, and it just thought that it was such a striking visual world that I would have loved to have made it into a TV series or a feature film. So we sort of went into the games and the toys, and then I think it was really like 15 years of when we decided to let's go for the feature film over a TV series. And it actually, unfortunately, it takes that long to finance an independent animated movie, particularly an all-Australian one. And, we sort of produce a draft a year, and so that's 9 years just trying to get the script through before financing. So it's a labour of love and a dedicated team of what did you say, rabid fans of the ScaryGirl world to get it made.
Yeah.
So Nathan, tell us a little bit about your side of that journey. Was a film something that you'd always thought about, or was it kind of something that just came up in conversation one day?
I mean, for me, I studied illustration in the University of South Australia and graduated in like 94. And at the time, I was really obsessed with a lot of visuals related to animation. So I'd always had that in my as a goal to do something that was animated. And even before I met Sophie, I was doing basic kind of Flash animated shorts and doing little bits and pieces freelance for the ABC. So there was always an animation kind of bone in my body. And then when Sophie and I met, I think we instantly were thinking, oh yeah, maybe this could be potentially a TV series or something animated. It wasn't sort of locked down, but it was very early on that we wanted to do something animated that was expanding the story either as a film or a TV series. So yeah, I think it's always been there, but we definitely got distracted on other projects relating to ScaryGirl, especially the games that we did, took up a number of years.
And my history obviously is from animation, so I just come out of the UK or come back from the UK and had just finished all the first series of the Gorillas videos, which was what I used to entice Nathan to partner with me.
So,
that was exciting because I was really into 2D graphics and the early Gorillas music videos were mostly 2D. I think Flash, right?
No, they weren't.
They weren't Flash. They look very maybe Toon Boom or something. But they had a really cool visual aesthetic that I liked and I felt a close bond with.
So I'm not sure who the right person is to answer this one, but I wanted to talk about the cast because you've got such a great, diverse cast, of course, with everybody from Sam Neill through to Deborah Mailman, through to Daryl Alcott doing his first ever voice work. Tell us a little bit about the cast, how you brought this amazing cast together, and when did you know who would be right for each part? Because I found when I was watching the film that the voices are exactly how I imagined characters like Archie to sound. So tell us a little bit about that journey finding the right cast.
Well, that's actually what you just described is kind of exactly how we set about doing it. All of our characters have such a distinct look that our voicing or our voice actors also had to have a very distinct voice quality. I'd worked with Tim Minchin before. We knew that we wanted him on the show. Initially, I think, did we have him not as Chihuhu initially? Remember, it's funny.
I think, yeah, we were tossing up between Bunny Guru and Chihuhu, but when you look at Chihuhu, his face and his mouth, it's something similar to Tim's face or something. I don't know. It's his wildness about him.
He actually came up with the voice because he looked at the design and then he molded his mouth and the way that his mouth shapes in order to form our character Chihuhu. Gillian was amazing. She has she even looks a bit like Archie, the lead, and she just had this wonderful voice quality that also sounded, even though she's mid-20s or was mid-20s, sounded quite young or sounded like appropriate age group. Dylan, I don't know. Dylan said he was going to retire at the US Open and said he might try acting, and I thought I'd love to give him a role because he's got that really gravelly voice and we could try him out as one of the Wild Boys, and he jumped at his first acting gig, and Sam Neill, just what can you say?
He even looks a bit like Sam Neill. Dr. Maybe has a sort of a Sam Neill visual about him. Yeah.
Well, remember Nathan, we originally always wanted Sam Neill, but based on those orangutan ads that he did, the meat ads, he did the...
Oh, yeah, ages ago.
Yeah.
And then, Mark and Rob and Deb, they're all just like iconic Australian actors with... Each one of them has a very unique voice that we, as you say, we matched it to the character. So Rob has a more, paternal warmth that suited Blister. Deb, just brilliant, going into the cackling, shrieky voices of the tree or, levels of the tree dweller. And Mark, Cole Smith, wow. He was so good at this. We gave him two roles, but he is insanely talented voice actor. And
it was a surprise, actually. Yeah, I didn't realise how good he would be as an animated voice, and it's just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever get to see any footage of him in the booth, he's amazing.
Oh, definitely. and really, really glad that you've got Anna Torv in there as well, because I've been a big fan of her ever since Blue Healers, which is showing my age there, but amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Anna was one of the ones that we had on our list from Fringe days, like really early, and I personally was thrilled when we got her because we didn't think we would.
Awesome.
and also she has it's interesting, her voice and even her visually in real life almost has a keeper like look about her, sort of this sort of tall kind of well spoken, thought out voice in real life, and it really suited that character. And it was her first ever time doing animation as well. She'd never voiced an animated character before. Yeah.
Well, Nathan, Sophie, sorry, I just noticing that we're running out of time very, very quickly, so I didn't want to make you late for your next interview. But to finish off, is there a message you would like to say to our listeners out there before they head out to check ScaryGirl out in cinemas this weekend?
Nathan.
Oh, I mean, for me, it's like if you want to see something that is super original for Australian audiences, it's very rare to get, an animated feature film that's all Australian. I would say go out and support Australian cinema, Australian animation, and I hope you love it. We think it's an amazing film, and hope to do more things with it.